BJ. What do you think? Hi. I know. Be careful. Well, hello everyone. Kaye here on my homestead in Tennessee. Welcome back to my channel. It's been an interesting week and I've been glued to the news and haven't gotten a whole lot done and haven't made a video. So I thought I better just at least check in, let you know I'm fine. And let's just catch up a little bit. I realized today, I had already talked to my friend Mark, and he always starts his onions in southern Illinois the last week of January. And so I said, I had seen this method on, it was either Instagram or Facebook, I can't remember. And this woman is doing these rolls and rolling up her seedlings, growing them in these rolls of, it looks like plastic, and I didn't see any description saying what kind of plastic or anything. So I'm leery of using plastic, but I thought, well, let's try to figure out something else. But you know, anything that's made out of fabric is not going to have any, it's not going to stand up. And these rolls literally stand up, and the seeds go in the top, and then the sprouts grow, and the roots are loose to go into a tray. You set these rolls in a tray, and it looks like just a great idea. I just want to find something better than the plastic. However, I tell myself every seed tray is plastic, so you know, we can't get away from plastic unless we put seeds straight in the ground, and we can't do that yet. So we've got to start inside if we want to have certain crops. So I just decided I'm going to do it the same way I did it last year. I'm just going to start the same way and up-pot the seedlings and do it that way, because I want to grow several different varieties. And so I am going to try to do that tonight. It might be the morning before I get started. Because now it's 4:30. It's Saturday afternoon, and there's a lot of people going back and forth on the road. I've got BJ and Spot out because it's warmer, obviously, today, and I thought I would have a late cup of tea and maybe get something done tonight. But I wanted to point out something very important. If you remember 2 years ago when I was doing a lot of my prep, and they're also practicing shooting, I did a video on storing your water storage for long-term storage. And I had procured I think it's 350, it's either 300 or 350 gallon cube IBC tote in a frame, and had, you know, cleaned it out. It never had chemicals in it. I cleaned it out anyway and filled it, and it's been filled with the same water for 2 years. Now I have a kit which I bought at the time, the water testing kit, and I haven't had to tap into that water at all. So it's still there. And I was warned by my friend last year and this year, but last year we had just cold snaps, you know, that didn't last long enough to freeze a huge cube of ice. But guess what? It appears that 300 gallons or 350 is solid ice. Yeah. Now I followed his recommendation and ordered a lamp cord. That a simple lamp cord would be enough warmth to keep it from freezing solid. But when I was over there, you know, I could kind of push on, not the bottom is so tight, but the top, I could push on it and there was a little give, like maybe a quarter of an inch between the plastic and something solid, and that was at the top. So I feel like, but there's some give in the very top. So my understanding is when a big block of ice freezes, it doesn't necessarily fill up every spot up here before it pushes out down here. I don't know. I looked around, I can only see 3 sides, and I didn't see any cracks in the plastic. So I'm hopeful. So I just went over, and I'll give you a look, a couple of pictures I took. I wasn't planning on doing this video, so they're not very good pictures, but you'll see what I did. You know, I ordered the lamp cord on Amazon, and all of those electronics, we know where they're made, and every single light bulb is made there as well, so you can't get around that today, unfortunately. It looked like it was pretty well made, and it has a switch on it. So I took a couple of little hooks I have in my kitchen to hang on my, you know, my metal rack. I have some hooks, metal hooks. And I hung the wire. Fortunately, the cube is sitting right beside a, I didn't remember doing this, but obviously I positioned the cube. I set it on two levels of concrete block, so it's this high up off the floor, and there are 2x4s underneath it as well. Because I was told you shouldn't set it directly on the concrete block. And so there is an outlet right there. That was convenient. I was thinking it was 6 feet down this shop wall. And so I just wrapped it around and hooked it on in a couple of places because, you know, it has the metal frame. And he said, at this point, since we don't know for sure that there isn't a leak, that there isn't a crack, when it starts, I'm going to need to check it tomorrow because it's going to start melting a little bit. But I used a 75 watt incandescent bulb, and I'm not telling you to try this, I'm just telling you what I did. So talk to your better half if he knows about electricity, or talk to an electrician, or get some advice from somebody that knows more than me. But this is what I did, and this is what my friend has done for years. So my plan was to hang it underneath, in the middle underneath, and I could have because there's a metal frame, but a lot of people going back and forth right now. Speaking of going back and forth, hold that thought. I was going to hang it underneath, but since I don't know for sure that it hasn't been breached, is that the right word? Compromised? It hasn't got a crack in it. I'm going to check tomorrow for any leaking. Each day I'm going to check for any leaking, and if it starts to leak, then I'm going to put a hose on the valve and just drain it out the shop, which is all downhill from there. But if I had put that bulb there initially, it would have never frozen, I'm told. So fingers crossed. I didn't do it last year. Like I said, we just had these short, really cold spells. Same for the winter before. But this one has been this deep freeze. I mean, every night, every single night, it's in either single or, you know, the teens, like 14, 15, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. It got down to 3. And I know in Illinois and many other places it's been much colder. But anyway, that's how I dropped the ball. As for the going back and forth, that reminded me, the sky is full, absolutely full of trails. And I don't know if you follow Billy at Permapastures Farm, but he just put it right out there the other day in a short video, and he addressed the new president and said, you know, you really want to help the farmers, you want to help, you know, we need clean skies. And so our governor signed it into law, Senate Bill 2691 last June 1st, but there's been no stopping. I mean, right before the election, right a Christmas Day, oh my gosh, it was just like zigzags everywhere. So if you start looking online, you're going to see so many skies that look like Grand Central Station, you know, outside where all the tracks come in. So anyway, I don't know what we're going to do about that, because we need clean water, clean air, and clean soil. And our soil, you know, can't be clean unless the water and the air are clean, right? So this is my hope and my prayer for this year, is that there's some forward movement on stopping that. The problem is, it's not some fringe little thing like it was from 1970 until the end of last century, with just a handful of nefarious persons doing this. It's a multi-billion-dollar business now. You know, you heard about the floods in Dubai, right? Well, they went overboard over there. So, yeah, so we have to be vigilant. This is what I was talking about when I first started gardening. I was referring to pests and, you know, fungus and diseases and all of that we had to go out every morning in the garden and look. Of course, I had this tiny little garden, which, if you didn't catch my post on X or my post on the community page, I finally saw, thanks to Jack, he sent me the pictures. They have surveyed all of the burned houses, and I was like 99% sure that Late Bloomer Garden 1.0 did burn to the ground, but it did. You know, the fireplace is how you recognize your house, or a house. It's the only thing left standing. Bricks don't burn. Well, they burn. They will melt unless it's fire brick. They will melt, but fireplaces, the inside of fireplaces are made out of fire brick, so that's why they're always left standing. Or, you know, in the old days, they were made out of huge hewn stones. My friend Tim and Francis, they have these stones that they made the original they have the original farmhouse. They've just done a ton of work to it. But these stones are like this long and this tall and this thick, that made the hearth and the fireplace. That's not going to burn in a fire, because it's not fuel. And so the people who bought the house from me, she had some strange notions and fears and things, and so she closed off the fireplace. She just blocked it in with plaster or something. And so the opening where the fireplace was is white. Now, it almost looked like the second owner, because she sold it and then it was purchased again. And it almost looked like they had carved a little bit of that out, because the fireplace was here, which you couldn't see because I had this beautiful hearth. And it was all the owners previous were from Sweden, and all of the there was ceramic tile over the whole fireplace. Swedish tile. It's really pretty. And then I had a blue. It was this color. My hearth, I painted this color of blue, and it was in a glossy blue. I didn't paint it. I had a very good painter paint it. And it was in it was oak originally, and it was a beautiful mantle. Oh my goodness, I so wish I had a mantle like that now, but because it was deep and it went far, and I had it packed with art and glass, handmade glass things and all this stuff, sculptures. And anyway, I don't have that much room in here, but the actual, what did I call it? The hearth, the shelf over the fireplace was this color and down, and it was just stunning, I thought. And so you couldn't see any of the brick or anything. So that's the first time I had seen the brick, just in that picture. And on the second floor, the way it was built, the fireplace was hidden. So this is the first time I had ever seen the fireplace, but I knew it was mine because of this white where she had blocked it out, right? I mean, who's got a fireplace that's brick and then it's white? And I noticed, if you remember my place, I had this iron. Oh, I wish I had one here, but you know, it gets cold and things die. They have to come in. But there, of course, it never froze, and so I had geraniums in clay pots. I think there were 4, and it was this big wire, heavy wire thing that was mounted into the stucco of the house. And then I had these clay pots that were like this big, and they all had geraniums, and they were the same color that I'm growing now that I got from Jamie. She started them and gave them to me, and I didn't know exactly what color they're going to be, but they're the same color that I used to have. And so they are still blooming in my garage. So I feel like there's just a little piece of me left from all of that. Anyway, I could see this iron, this piece of iron with the circles, and the pots. The pots didn't burn either. So there were 3. So one of them got broken in the 25 years. And I never could find one like it. So I just left it empty. And there were 3 pots in this iron thing, sort of closer into the photo. So otherwise that destruction would look like any other destruction on the street. It's just terrible. So there are some good things happening, and I am hopeful, and I hope you are too. And the people in North Carolina are getting some help. I don't know if you heard this, but a husband and wife, and father and mother and baby froze to death, sleeping in a tent. Froze from hypothermia. You know, they died from hypothermia from sleeping in a tent. Still in a tent after the Hurricane Helene. Tragic. So, I mean, we can make our donations, we can do our little bit and do what we can, but they need so much more help. Spot has jumped up on my electric box. By the way, yeah, I want to talk about smart meters in the next video, so remind me. Don't let me forget, okay? Thank you so much for listening. God bless you. Have the rest of your have a beautiful Sunday. And thanks for tuning in. And I'll see you next time. Catch!